Hey everyone, and welcome to Tech Roast, the weekly show where I'm going to break down the latest in tech and AI, and wonder how much longer humans are going to be allowed to participate. I'm going to be here once a week, hopefully, partly to keep you informed, but mostly to keep ourselves sane as we slowly march towards the inevitable AI takeover. Because let's be real, at this point, we're just NPCs in ChatGPT's side quest. We used to joke about robots taking over jobs. Now they're writing movie scripts, composing award-winning songs, and if this keeps up, they'll be hosting this show too. Yep, and I do a much better job than you, human Dave. This week, once again, humans displayed that we aren't superior at collective decision-making. Because in case you missed it, Beyoncé is now a country artist, because nothing screams country like a billionaire from Houston with a song produced by AI-generated banjos. Look, even AI knows that real country is about trucks, beer, and your wife leaving you for your cousin. Chapel Rowan won Best New Artist and proceeded to roast the industry. During Miss Rowan's acceptance speech, she seemed to glitch, proposing the music industry, that has been run by cartels for as long as I can remember, should offer a livable wage and healthcare to developing artists. Healthcare. Like from America. I don't know what vapor you've been smoking, Chapel, but something seems to be pretty strangely going on in your world. Pink Pony Club. And of course, the most normal decision of the night was the Beatles winning Best Rock Live Performance. Yup, live. As in, the singer is dead, so not alive, and the band's never actually played it live. Turns out, interestingly, AI was used to restore these old recordings from a tape cassette. The Grammy actually should have gone to the algorithm that did all the work. Honestly, at this point, we should have just outsourced the decision making to ChatGPT. It would have been just as unpredictable, but a lot cheaper. Okay, let's take a moment to reflect on the real what the from the Grammys. Kanye West and his wife's Technicolor Invisible Dream Coat. I get it. Fashion is subjective, but at some point you have to ask, was that a dress or did an AI stylist forget to load the textures? Honestly, this might have been the most futuristic thing I've ever seen. I mean, why wear clothes when you can just imagine them? Meanwhile, Apple has just announced they're rethinking their Vision Pro rollout. There's news we didn't see coming. Turns out people just don't want to pay $3,500 to look like a futuristic bug-eyed cyborg. I can already see the retrospective during the product offsite at Apple, so let's reflect on this mistake and ensure moving forward we leave Siri out of the decision making. Meanwhile, Tesla cars have been doing unusual things, like stopping at green lights. Some are deciding the sidewalk is a perfectly acceptable lane, and some are ploughing themselves into the water pretending to be an amphibious creature. So basically, they've started behaving like actual human drivers, most likely from Massachusetts, or massholes, as they're most commonly known as. While all of this was happening, where's Elon Musk? You know, the guy raiding the financial treasury? Because while we're all worried about AI going rogue, turns out the real worry was a Bond villain by the name of Musk, with a big Twitter account, a weird salute, who likes to raid the financial treasuries of one of the wealthiest and most powerful countries in the world. And here we are worried about AI. Meanwhile in Australia, consumers are avoiding Tesla in droves and seeking alternatives, read the latest headlines. I guess when the self-driving cars have the same reliability as a kangaroo on a highway, you start looking for better alternatives. Speaking of Australian headlines, turns out the Aussies outsourced the GPS tracking of bailed criminals to private companies, which in a shocking turn of events has links to organised crime. Because if there's anyone you can trust to track criminals, it's other criminals. Just this week, one of these fine, upstanding companies mysteriously vanished, along with 22 highly dangerous offenders. Well, that's all for this week's Tech Roast. If AI keeps running things, next year's Best Picture Oscar is probably going to go to the AI-generated Fast and Furious movie where Vin Diesel is entirely CGI. Actually, that sounds really cool. Well, if you can get your agent to like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments what's the dumbest piece of tech news you heard this week. And hopefully, I'll be back next week. Unless AI replaces me first. Have a great week. Yep, and I'd do a much better job than you, Human Dave.